Welcome to the Real Mama Pod.
I'm your host, Devin.
And I'm your host, Kendra.
We are real moms.
Sharing real experiences. The things people don't tell you.
Hey, Mama, hey.
Hey, Mama, hey. How are you, friend?
Girl, I'm all right, child. We had so much technical difficulties before doing this, and I'm like stressed the hell out now.
It has definitely
But it's okay.
been one of those days.
Yeah, it is. But we have an amazing topic. So, yeah, one of those months.
Technology ruin our evening. Not going to let it happen.
One of those years, okay? Like, it's April.
It's April. That's the thing.
About to be May.
Right.
And we're struggling.
Like around the corner. May is literally in a couple of days.
And speaking of May, this is our Mother's Day episode. Yeah.
Wow. And it's a good one too. I'm excited.
It's a really good one. Yeah. So let's get right into it. We have a special guest, Shamika Atkinson, my prophyte. Oh my gosh, I love her so much. Anyway, we're not going to go through all that, but thank you. And so we are talking about being a bonus mama. So she's a bonus mama of 3 beautiful children, and we're going to talk about her journey and how she got there and how she feels about things and how she navigates the world as being a bonus mom. So we thought this would be a really good conversation and a nice little twist because, you know, there are more than one way of being a mama. And so we both thought this was needed for our podcast. And that's why we're here.
Hey, Shamika.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. I think this is good because most people don't get that whole I guess you don't really get guides on being a step parent, you know, so it's kind of like, what resources do you have? So this will be good. Maybe this will be a resource for somebody else.
Yes, a nice little cheat code. I love it.
It will. So let's go ahead and talk about it, Shamika. Can you tell us about your journey to becoming a bonus mama?
Man, so it honestly starts with my husband. And so I met him, and I'll tell you, I didn't really know about the kids because we met at a lounge and hit it off right away. Fell off. He slid in my DMs like a year or so later, and we went out on a date. Had a great time. I'm talking like I've called my friends already. Like, this is my husband. Like, I love him. Like, this is it. And I'm like, okay, you know, this is great. So my biggest thing, which I'm like, if I really like this person, I don't want a situationship. I don't want any of that stuff. I'm about to tell him right now, like, look, what are we doing? You know, I don't want to try to, you know, just play the fence with it. And so he responds, you don't know what I have going on. And I'm just kind of like, well, what is it? And I'm like, it can't be that bad. I'm thinking the worst. And he's like, well, I got 3 children and they have 3 different mothers. And so then I go radio silent and I'm like, what? Like, I wasn't expecting that. And the first thing I did was call one of my good friends, and she's just basically like, I'm like, I don't know how I can deal with this. And she's like, well, you don't have to deal with anything, but you can give it a try. And so I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a try. I feel like it was worth it. And then that's basically how I went from like hot girl summer to, you know, trying to tell a toddler to keep her iPad charged up because it's going to die. Like, why do you keep taking it off the charger? It's going to die. So yeah, went from that to here.
That's the reality.
I love that.
That is. It really is.
Charged.
What? And it's a whole meltdown when it dies. It's like, well, you know, that's your fault. You know, you unplugged it.
Right.
And it's long.
Too well.
Yeah. For some reason, they do not like the iPad on the charger. It's just like,
I cannot understand it for the life of me. You try
always
to
on radio
that you need to keep it on the charger, and they just cannot grasp that concept. So you just let the iPad do what it do, and they'll figure it out.
Yep. When it die, it die.
And it's not
That's
like the
it.
iPhone, like it charged super quick. Like it takes
Yeah,
forever.
It takes
So
a
it's just like,
while for the
right.
iPad to
and then if
It
you
charge.
take a
use
long
too
time.
much of the iPad at one time, like it's going to die again. So it's just
Hmm.
like,
Mhm. Just
Just
keep
sit
it
right
plugged.
here, baby,
But
and keep it
and the
plugged
plug don't
in.
even be in their
yeah,
way. It
No,
just
no,
be plugged up.
it's
mm-mm,
I don't get it. We got a long one, 10 feet, just so she can move around as she pleases, and it's still, mm-mm.
yeah.
Yep,
The
it's dead.
only the only thing has worked for us in the car. If we have long car rides, we give them an external charger, and that's worked. But
Ah,
that's
that's a
the
good
only
idea.
thing. That was the
I
only
don't think
thing
that'll
that's
work
worked
for
so
Eli.
far.
He don't like nothing plugged up. Give me my iPad.
It don't matter. Like, let it die. I don't want no attachments. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
But yeah.
So, tell us about your experience when you entered your bonus children's lives. Like, how was your connection? Did y'all connect
Hmm.
right away? Was it like, who are you? I don't like you
Mhm.
already because you were my daddy. Like, what was it?
Hmm.
What was that like?
The funny thing is I feel like I always tell people, like, I feel like I came into this a little bit lucky because I know everybody's situation is different.
Mm-hmm.
And my experience kind of coming into their life was more so like I was there, but I ultimately let them choose how they wanted to receive me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like with the younger one, I kind of feel like I'm her big best friend type of thing. Like she just sees me as an older big best friend. And then the middle one actually calls me mom. He's autistic. So
Oh,
it's like he
okay.
doesn't really grasp the whole thing. He just
Mm-hmm.
thinks he has two moms, two dads, all these different grandparents. And then the oldest, he calls me by, my first name. But initially when he came in, it's like I'm more of like another adult figure in his life. So
Okay.
I kind of take on the role that I, I don't want to force motherhood on any of them. So I guess my experience coming in was more so just kind of letting them fill me out and I'm filling them out and letting them kind of decide what type of relationship they want to have with me because they
That's
already have
good.
moms. So it's not like a situation where I'm coming in and like my husband, he didn't know his biological father. So his
Mhm.
stepfather kind of stood in as the male dad father for him. Whereas they have wonderful moms. So I didn't want to come in trying to be their mom per
Mhm.
se. So I come in and just kind of fill in how they like to receive me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
So it
love
sounds
it
that.
was
like you
great
gave them the
though.
free will to establish a relationship with you. Like you let them
Hmm.
create what that relationship looks like, and you kind of followed their
Hmm.
lead. Is that safe to
Hmm.
say?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. And that's kind of how I wanted to approach it because I just want to come in guns a blazing and honestly, I wanted to be respectful of their mom too. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to come in trying to replace them because I'm not the replacement. I'll never be their mom. I'll never have that bond that they have. But what I can do is make sure that I'm an added bonus, like
Yeah.
anything that you want to emphasize with them. You want them to read more. Like she texted one of the oldest texts us today, like, when he comes there, can you make sure he reads? And guess what? My responsibility will be making sure that he reads when he needs to read. So, things like
That's
that.
great. It's a great
That's
partnership.
awesome.
Can you tell
That's
us their
awesome.
Hmm.
ages? Their
Yes.
ages.
So
How
we
old are
got
they?
5 year olds, 5, 12, and one that's going to be 13.
Oh
So it's like
wow.
all over the spectrum. And I met them like 4.5 years ago. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like 2 and like 9-ish. So it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
toddler to like
Mhm.
now you got a teenager. And it's like, it's different and they all
Mm-hmm.
have different personalities and require different things. So
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting to navigate from, getting to know them at the age that they were and then
Right.
to now.
Yeah. Watching them grow up. That's one of the joys
Yeah.
of being a parent is
Mhm.
watching your kids in all these stages of their life. So it's really cool that you were able
Mhm.
to meet them at that point and you're there with them for the rest of their lives to watch them grow up.
Mhm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mhm.
what
That's the cool part.
are some challenges that you face as a bonus mama, and if any, like how do you handle those challenges?
I think honestly the biggest challenge is kind of trying to find your place, I guess, in their life. And then even like when it comes down to how they're going to be raised, it's almost like you kind of I do speak and communicate with my husband a lot about, and we communicate together on how we want things to go, but ultimately knowing that you can't really, you're not their parent. And I think that's something you have to realize too when you're a bonus mom. It's like, you're there kind of in a support role. At least that's kind of how I've taken it. But I think the challenging thing is, maybe one roles that they have at your house are different than what they're being taught at their house. So trying to get everybody on the same page and trying to like kind of plead my case to my husband so that he can go to the mom. And I think those are kind of the biggest things is, finding your place. And like I was saying before, like there's no guidebook. There's tons of guidebooks like on, having the child, what you do after and all these different things, but there's no real guide to being a
No.
step parent or bonus mom. So you kind of just figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's how we look at parenting in general. Is you just take it a day at a
figuring it
time.
out. One day is one thing, and another day is something different. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. So, how would you say your relationship is with their biological mothers? How did you
Mhm.
establish rapport? And I don't know if you guys see each other as like friends or how does that
Mhm.
work? Like, what is that dynamic like?
So so here's the thing, it's so my husband's relationship with these women, because three of them, so
Hmm.
he has his own thing to handle with them. I initially kind of didn't want to see the different things that they were going through just on a parenting tip. I wanted to
Mhm.
kind of form my own opinion about them, and I also wanted to establish a relationship my own. So I reached out to each one of them, and I
Okay.
do communicate with all of them, but I think it was more so important for me because I put myself in their shoes. I'm like, if it's my child, this is going to somebody, going to their other parent's house and they have someone else there that I don't know, maybe don't like, or, is rude to my child. I just wanted to make sure they knew who I was and that they knew that I wasn't trying to take their place. But if they ever needed anything, or hey, I'm a better communicator than my husband with them. So like if you're not getting through to him, just let me know. We'll work this out. But I think they're amazing women and amazing moms, and I'll never discredit them on that. So yeah, I think as well. We're not best friends, I say
Right.
that, but we can give each other a hug when we see each other, and I think that's important for the kids to see too.
Hmm.
You
Mhm.
want them to know that even if they love me a little bit, they didn't feel bad about it. Like we all love each other. We're all going to coexist with each other and co-parent healthy. So
That's great
Wow.
healthily, I think that's
and
good.
important. Like you said, the kids need
Mm-hmm.
to see that all of us can have amicable relationships and have fun
Mm-hmm.
with each other and be positive and influential in their lives. So that's it's great
Then
that you
you
all
need to be
have
on the
that.
same page. Just
Yeah.
even
Hmm.
like with the baby girl, like even with hairstyles, like it's you want to ask
Mm.
permission, like, is it okay if I blow dry it? Is it okay
Hmm.
if I do
Mhm.
this to her hair? Like, and like, yes, please, like go ahead. Or, what are you putting on her eczema, or what do you wash her hair with? So if you don't have that, it's kind of like a little awkward.
Yeah.
So we're at a
Yeah.
point where we can talk. And that's not the same for everybody. That's why I say I feel like I'm a little lucky because I've heard horror
Yeah.
stories and I don't have to deal with it. Like they're all like two of them are married. So I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that dynamic. Oh, you're trying to get with my husband still and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Wow,
That's
that's
think I'm a
that's
little lucky
good
with that
though.
one.
You are a good communicator because a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
from my experience, because I did have some stepmoms too, the permission asking, that was the biggest issue. As something as
Mm-hmm.
simple as, can I blow dry her hair? And so for you to know that going in, like, I mean, I'm sure that saved your
Mm-hmm.
relationship tremendously because it's like, okay, there's a level of respect
Mm-hmm.
established
Mm-hmm.
on your side. So I think that's helpful.
Yeah.
So even though you have a beautiful journey and great relationships, I think anyone who may be struggling with with their relationships can still take from that, right? Only
Mm-hmm.
because they may be missing that piece of like asking
Yeah.
for permission because it could be like a pride thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It could
But
be.
when you take your pride aside and you put yourself in someone else's shoes, like you're doing, like that
Hmm.
communication. I mean, if they're rude and nasty, that's just on them.
That's
But
still different. Yeah, totally different. But
if
if
they are
you've tried,
mature, right?
yes, got to be
Yeah,
mature. That's the
yeah,
thing. And I think the other thing or aspect of it, a lot of times there's difficulty with visitation with the kids and
right.
with the dad because we don't have primary custody.
Mhm.
So it's like if you think about the fact, like if she got into it with me and we have a bad
Right.
attitude and it's already strained over here
Mhm.
with him and
Mhm.
my husband and her, like, do you really think she's going to be like, yeah, he can come stay there for a month? It's just going to make it a tick for tat type of thing. And using
Yeah.
kids for things like that is unfortunate. So I just do everything I can and in my power to make sure to keep everything kind of copacetic so
Yeah.
that everybody gets along and we're all on the same page. So
Yeah.
That's
it's
great.
working
Oh,
over here. I know.
I love that. I love that. Because you always hear
That's
the
really
crazy
sweet.
stories. So this is
That's
nice
what
to
I
hear.
heard, and I
Like,
was scared. I was scared. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with this. So I'm glad I gave it a try because, I mean, it hasn't
yeah.
always been easy. I won't say that,
Mhm.
but I think we all take steps and know that we all love the kids. And so we'll do whatever it takes to make sure they're good.
And their
Love it.
well-being is what's most, important. So,
Mm-hmm. Take
um,
yourself out of it.
We
We got
found
a
the
secret.
secret. We found the secret. If
Yeah.
you are a mama or a woman in general and you are struggling with your libido, we have found the trick. She O has done the job. We have been more engaged intimately with our husbands. We have had all the fun. And when I tell y'all the
Mm-hmm.
fun, we have had the fun. And guess what? We don't have to put towards so much energy because
No.
this has done the trick. And if y'all don't
Yes.
believe us, check out the reviews.
Yep.
Like,
Check the
check
link in our bio and use code MAMA, all caps, for extra discounts. But order it today.
them
That's all I got to say. Order it today.
today. And like we said, if you don't trust us, read the reviews.
Mm-hmm. Let us.
Yourself out of it.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
So, becoming a parent is a transition. Like, it was one of the toughest transitions that I've personally experienced. So, I'm curious
Mm-hmm.
about like you transitioning into being a mama and finding the balance between being or becoming a bonus mama and then also your personal life, like work and
Mm-hmm.
whatever else, what other happenings you had going on. Like, how do you balance or did you balance, this transition into becoming a bonus mama?
It is. I will say it is a little different because I don't know. Even if you don't know me or if you do know me prior to this, like I was always traveling. Like I'm here and there. I'm at all the day parties. I'm doing all the things. I'm at
Mm-hmm.
every function, and now it's like I we got our kid at home, so no, we're not going to be able to make this. But the funny thing is it wasn't that bad because at this age, I feel like everybody's kind of on that tip where most of my friends have kids. Most of them understand and they get it. So I think for me, I think more so from a relationship standpoint, not having kids primarily, it's kind of like we get an off and on type of thing. So when they do come, our relationship is kind of like that's why I see when parents have kids full time and then
Mm-hmm.
trying to manage a relationship on top of kids on top of work, it's a lot to manage. And luckily, my husband is very good with supporting. He cooks, he cleans, and we're just pretty much all on the same page about making sure things get done. And I work from home, so it is tough having kids here while you're working. I'm like, how did y'all
It
do
is.
this during the pandemic? Like, what?
We're
What?
asking
How do
ourselves the same question. How?
you? I
How's it
give
work?
y'all the most credit because that is difficult, very difficult. But we work together, kind of like if he'll take off and I'll be on, and we'll work it out basically. But I
Teamwork
think that's when
makes the dream
communication
work.
comes from.
But I do have another question. How do
Mhm.
you approach discipline being a bonus mama?
I don't discipline them.
Okay.
I don't discipline them. I've kind of taken on this role of, I don't know if you've been seeing it, but probably heard of gentle parenting.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I approach things. Luckily, they're already good kids, so there's really no discipline that needs to happen. And if so, it's either going to be my husband or their mom. I don't really discipline them, kind of step back on the discipline just because it
Mm.
kind of makes things a little rocky, but I will gently parent. I'll say that. So I'm finding myself being very patient, which is what I never thought I could be this patient. Now
Mm-hmm.
I'm explaining the whys behind why I'm saying not to run around here with the stick that's sharp, or I'm explaining if there's a meltdown, why, you can't go outside with a spaghetti strap shirt when it's 40 degrees outside. And you're, I'm like, who is this girl? Because my parents never explained anything to me. It was like, do what I tell you to do. And
Right.
so I kind of take this role of making sure they always feel comfortable with what I'm saying and know why I'm saying it. And most of the time I don't say much anyway. So, they listen when I say it and I feel like they receive it really well. So, but
I
I
feel like
don't
all of us have had to
really take the
adopt
discipline.
that type of parenting. We talk about it all the time about
Yeah.
how we
Hmm.
parent our kids versus how we were parented and how we have to unparent the way that we were parented a lot of the
Hmm.
times with our kids. So you're not
Hmm.
alone in that fight.
And
It's
I feel
very
like this
hard.
dynamic kind of forced me into it. Whereas
Yeah.
I'm thinking like if I had my own biological child, would I have been so patient and
Hmm.
so, explaining everything and, calming down before, you address anything. And that's kind of the approach that I'm taking. I'm like, okay, I could probably be like this. Yeah, I could do
Yeah,
this.
they definitely change you, and you
Hmm.
are gentle to kids who are not gentle to you.
You
You know,
right. Right.
no,
Yeah. Hmm. Wreaking
it's real
havoc.
rough,
And I
real
feel
rough out
like we have
here.
a
But
tendency to be more gentle with other people's kids too.
oh
Like
yeah,
Yes.
we just
Uh-huh. I
do.
think that's the thing too. Mm-hmm.
Like I
Because
just
my
I
but
there are certain things I don't fuss at my niece about that I would fuss at my own kids about. But it's
mm-hmm.
like, no, like
Same.
I'm not gonna fuss at her about that, but let Eli do that. Like it's a problem.
yeah.
So we just naturally don't fuss at
Mm-hmm.
other people's children like we would fuss at our own.
Mm-mm. No, I
So
agree.
That is true. That is true.
But I will say my husband does, encourage like if I did say something, like he was like, what did she tell you to do? So
Hmm.
he always kind of backs me up on anything I say if I have to say anything. So he does. He's like, you can do more. I mean, I'm like, no, I'm not. I said this, I said my piece, that's it. As long as you back me up and he makes sure that the respect is there, we're good.
That's
that's
good.
So it's
good.
not too bad. Mm-mm.
That's good. So what has been the most rewarding part about becoming a bonus mama?
I feel like kind of what you said earlier is watching them grow and they're this tall, and now you're looking up like I'm looking up at my 13-year-old now. So
Mm,
it's like, man, he has grown up and then just the questions that he asks and just the relationships you're able to build with them, you can tell that they're able to come to you for certain things. I think just watching them evolve too,
mhm.
like baby girl, she wasn't saying full sentences and now she's talking 24/7, and she can write, she can do math. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Completely blown away.
Mhm.
So I
They'll
think
do
the
that
most
to you.
rewarding thing is seeing them grow,
One
and
day they're not
develop.
doing something, and the next day they are.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's rewarding just knowing that I have a spot in their life in which I can be kind of that role model or a additional adult figure in their
Mhm.
lives to kind of help mold them. So I think, and I can tell they listen to me too, especially the oldest one, even just advice that I give him.
Hmm.
He's listening and regurgitating it and coming back with, I learned this, I want to do this now. So yeah, it's rewarding knowing that you're making a
Well,
difference and
they're very
watching them
lucky
grow.
to have you as their bonus mama.
Yes,
Oh, thank
They
you.
are.
Thank
I
you.
know. Okay, so what have you learned about yourself, right? Becoming a bonus mama. Have you learned anything new about yourself? Did you fall in love with yourself again? Certain parts of yourself? Did you get rid of some things?
I learned a lot about myself. I feel like I kind of did away with, and I feel like ultimately, if, the Lord allows, or, whatever happens, happens, and I do have biological children, my approach to them will be totally different than how I was raised. It's not even, I was raised terribly, because clearly I came out fine. But
Yeah.
there are certain things that I feel like I'm learning different things that I wish I would have learned when I was younger, or even just kind of teenage years, just finances and, degrees and different careers and being exposed to different careers, universities, and things like that. I feel like I'm learning or unlearning, honestly, some of the things that I was taught, and the changing and the patience, I feel like, has just grown. I never used to be too patient, but I
Yeah.
feel like I'm becoming way more patient. Um, yeah, I think
Shamika,
that's
you seem like a pretty patient
some of the
person,
things.
even before
You think
the
Yeah,
family.
I feel
And
like you were
I
patient.
think so.
so? I feel like too, I'm learning too that I might be able to be a mother for real. Before I didn't really, like I said, I would have kids, but I always kind of felt like I don't know if I'm cut out for it. Just even the nurturing aspect of it, or being affectionate towards kids. And I'm learning that I'm like, oh, I actually am affectionate and loving and kind, and I
You
I could
are.
do this.
I can't believe
So
you ever doubted that in yourself.
I'm telling
Yes.
you, I definitely thought that. I definitely
Yes.
thought that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what type of mom I would be, kind of nervous. And they kind of coming in have taught me that, you know what, you could do this.
Yeah.
You could
You
probably do
You're
definitely
this.
doing it.
can. You, because I am not an affectionate person. Anyone
Mm-hmm.
who knows me personally knows
Mm-hmm.
ugh, I
I know.
struggle with that.
It's like, oh, they're touching me. Oh,
Right. Please
no.
don't touch me. But with my kids, I'm so lovey-dovey and kisses and hugs, and they're very affectionate. Like their love language is physical touch, and I just like turn into mush. So
They'll
you
do it to you.
can, yeah, not be
Mm-hmm.
affectionate, but when it comes to your kids or your bonus children, like they just bring that emotion out
Mm-hmm.
of you.
Hmm.
So it's funny you see yourself that way. I feel like you're not giving
Mm-hmm.
yourself enough credit,
Probably
because
so.
knowing you for so long, I've never viewed you that way. So yeah.
Maybe it's just an internal thing. It's
Yeah.
just so
Has to
many
be. Because you don't
different
come off
things that
that
you
way.
think. Okay,
You don't
maybe
come off
that's
that
what
way.
it's more of an internal battle. So I think that's what they're teaching me, and what I've learned
Yeah.
over time is I'm more comfortable. I say
Yeah.
way more
Yeah.
comfortable. Kind of got a little
That's
practice than
Yeah.
most people don't get. It means like didn't get thrown all the way in like the infant stage, because
Yeah.
that's a struggle too. So
that's
Hmm.
another ball game,
I think
girl.
it's all a struggle,
It
all
is.
the ages, because you think it gets easier when they get older, but it's like now you got, the 13-year-old, he's asking questions about, what happens when you die, and,
Hmm.
maybe being scared to go to high school now because of shootings. And it's like,
Hmm.
it's scary, because it's like you just feel like you're always going to worry. I mean, you
Yeah.
think everything gets easier, but it's just always going to be something,
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
mom tells
Yeah.
me that
Well, it's
even at,
good you
at
got your practice in.
35, she still worries about
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah.
And I'm grown. I
Hmm.
got a whole family
Yes.
doing my own thing, and she's calling me every
Mm-hmm.
day. And if I'm not
Hmm.
answering the phone
Mm-hmm.
too many times
What's
out of the
wrong?
day, she's calling Jonathan like, "Hey, you heard from Ken?"
Mhm.
Hmm.
I'd be like, "Mom, just working. I'm
Seriously.
busy."
Yeah.
But
And
she will not let up
She's
if she
called me a
doesn't hear
time or
from her
two
kids.
too.
Yeah,
Hmm.
she
yeah,
has.
my mom's the
She has
same
called
way.
my
Yeah.
friends like, "Hey, Ken," which like so that will never go away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm with you on
That'll
that.
Yeah.
never go away.
I
Well,
get it
if
now.
yeah, if your heart desires, if you all decide to have kids, you'll be a great mama. I know you're a
Thank
bonus mama. You're already a mama,
you.
but
Mm-hmm.
biological
Thank
mom, you'll
you.
be so great. And then you have a
Amazing mama.
village. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have a village
Thank
behind you.
God.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Thankfully.
that's exciting.
Yeah, it
Thank
is.
you, Shamika.
You're welcome. Thank
Yeah.
you.
The sweetest.
Families, are y'all looking for some fun to get into this summer? If so, we have the perfect trip for you.
Yes, KT Travel and More is back with another great trip.
Yes.
July 13th through July 16th, you and your family can pack up and go where, friend?
To Punta Cana.
Yes.
Hey.
So hit up Stephanie for all the details, but this trip is very affordable and it fits a family of four.
Absolutely. And guess what? You will be in Punta Cana for 4 days and 3 nights under the sunny weather, the breeze, the ocean, all the fun. So make sure you check out KT Travel and More for more details.
Sign up today before it's too late. So, we've talked a lot about being a bonus mama. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think I am not drinking today, but
I'm barely
trying to be,
drinking.
yeah.
Barely.
So,
I'm gonna drink after this. That's for
Yes,
sure.
indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
indeed.
yeah. So, friend, tell us what you curated up at the Ferguson bar.
Mm.
Ferguson Bar. Okay, Ferguson Bar. So I know Shamika gets down with the get down with a good beverage.
hmm
And the funny thing is, before I thought about her drink, I said, I feel like Shamika likes tequila. And
Mm-hmm.
then when she responded to our email and said tequila was her drink, I said, perfect. So I
Mm-hmm.
had actually found a tequila drink or made a tequila drink before I looked at your email. So
See, you
yes, I
know.
said something in my
Mm-hmm.
spirit. Like you got married in
Mm-hmm.
Mexico.
Oh
I feel
yeah,
like we
tequila
had some tequila when we was
shots.
at fam. I
hmm
don't know. Maybe,
Mm.
maybe not. But
Tequila is
I
my
just
thing now.
in my spirit. So I guess my
Mhm.
spirit led me right. Um
Correct.
so I well me and Jonathan actually. I'm not gonna say just me because he always helps me with the drinks. But we curated a drink called Another Mother and
Ooh.
it is tequila based. So I'm gonna read the ingredients. And Shamika,
Let me
when
write
you
this
have
down.
your beverage tonight, this might be your vibe. I don't know,
All right,
but
let's see.
it
What is
has it has 2 ounces of tequila. And
it?
y'all know I
Mm-hmm.
preach about good tequila. Get y'all some
Me
quality
too. Which one do you
tequila.
like?
I like it's called La Gra. Oh my gosh, it's white. It's
I
like a
know.
white tequila, and it's in a glass. And I'm usually not first of all, tequila's not even my vibe for real. But when I started drinking quality tequila, I started
Mm-hmm.
liking it more. But it's in
Me
a
too.
glass bottle, and it has like this metal. I'll show you after the episode.
Okay.
But it's called La Gratona, I think. I think that's what it's
Mm-hmm.
called. But I'll show you.
I heard it
So
down, but
the
I'm with
drink
you on the
has
quality.
yeah, it got to be quality. Like I need quality alcohol. So it has 2 ounces of quality tequila, 2 ounces of fresh grapefruit juice, an
Okay.
ounce of fresh pineapple juice, a fourth an
Ooh.
ounce of lime juice, a fourth an ounce of agave syrup, dashes of tahine. Shake it up and top it with club soda. And you can put salt rim
Oh.
or tahine rim if you want to make it like a margarita.
Okay.
That's the cocktail version. If
To
you
try
are
that.
not a drinker or you're an expecting mama, we got a mocktail for you. And it's essentially the same drink without the tequila. It's the 2 ounces of fresh, y'all know I like my fresh juice too. Fresh grapefruit juice, an ounce of fresh pineapple juice, an ounce or a fourth an ounce of fresh lime juice, a fourth an ounce of agave syrup. Shake it up with a little bit of tahine, top it with club soda, and you have the mocktail version of Another Mother. And it's good. I should maybe
Love
show
it.
y'all. This is what it looks
I
like.
love that name too.
Oh, yes. It's
Oh,
really
that's
pretty.
cute. That's cute.
It's a good drink.
It's
Mm-hmm.
real good.
And it's like we're in the
Mm-hmm.
spring, summertime now, so it's time to pop some
Yeah.
tropical
Refreshing.
drinks. It's good. So
I
what's
like
Let
going
us know
it.
how
on in
you like
Mama's
it.
Corner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mama's
Yeah.
let us know,
Corner.
Shamika.
I sure will. I wrote it down. You probably have to text it to me. I think my measurement's gonna be off, but I got the ingredients. I got the ingredients though.
We'll
We
email it to
got
you.
you.
Yeah, send it to
We
me.
Yeah,
got
yeah,
you.
yeah. So, Mama's Corner is my favorite segment, and this is our opportunity to connect with our guests further and our listeners. So, typically, our listeners will write in and ask us a question, and we try to tailor the questions to the episodes.
Mm,
But I thought this time around we could be a little reflective since this is such a unique episode and something we don't do often. So, I have an additional question. What advice would you give to someone who's about to become a bonus parent?
man. Um, First of all, I wouldn't even encourage something like this unless you have a trustworthy partner, someone that's honest and that communicates well. Like this man over communicates with me. So if you're in a situation where you're already feeling like it's a little fishy, I wouldn't even pursue it. But I would say make sure that you have patience.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're selfless. Make sure you don't go into it expecting, fireworks. Depending on the type of situation that you're walking into, it could be different. So I would say kind of take the approach that I did and let the kids kind of decide how they want to, or what type of relationship they want to have with you, or what role they see as you being in their life. um what else? And just be patient. Yeah. This patience is big, and being selfless, and honestly just being proactive maybe too,
Mm-hmm.
like with reaching out to parents if need be, the moms if need be. But I will say that it takes a special person, I feel like, to be a bonus mom. It really does. And I think those are the biggest things that I would
Mm.
say. I think the
You're wearing it well,
selflessness.
Shamika.
Yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
you are. That was some really good, solid advice. That really was.
Yeah.
So,
Don't just be going out here, just I had to you gotta ask some good questions, but I honestly don't think I could have done it without Sid, my husband. There's no way.
right.
I wouldn't have done this with anybody else.
Yeah, I do
I
have
don't think.
another question too.
Mhm,
And I don't know why I didn't think of this question before,
mhm.
but okay, so we are in our mid-30s, right? Did you ever see yourself with someone with kids? Because that's like a realization that happens by a certain time, right? So is
Yeah.
that like a deal breaker for you, or you
That
were
is
okay
so
with that?
funny that you asked that, because if you would have asked me that when I was like 2019, all that, maybe even 25, probably,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even 30, let's
Yeah.
say, I probably would have been like, I can't see that for me, just
Yeah.
because of the stigma, or just like it's kind of taboo, or
Mhm.
just how other people have gone through, you know, some people have made a bad name for
Mhm.
being a stepmom and having baby mamas and all those different things. So I can't say that it's because I don't think I ever dated anybody with kids prior to Sid,
Okay.
honestly. So I will say the one thing that I think with age, as we get older, people have had lives before you. So that's one thing that I had to realize too once we got older. So I don't hold anything that he did prior to me against him. And then I think too, I wrote a list of like all these different things I wanted in a husband, right? Like long drawn out list. I put it under my pillow and I had it and I prayed over it several times. So when he came along, he tells me he has these kids. I'm going back to my paper like, okay, he's got everything on here. And for some reason, I never put on there like he can't have kids. Like I had a bunch of
Uh,
don'ts. I had all these like can't have this, can't do this, can't do this.
Mm.
And I never had it on there. I don't know if I left it off purposely, I forgot about it or what. But I'm
It was
like, well,
supposed to
girl,
be
this
on
what
there.
you said that you'd be okay with. And so, yeah, it was just one of those things where I just felt like if I didn't give it a try because of how great he treated me, I I probably would have kicked myself. But
mm.
luckily, I'm not. And it turned out to be a good situation. Not
Yes, and
perfect by any
kudos.
means, but yeah.
Yeah, kudos to that friend that was like,
Yes.
girl.
She was like, mm-mm. And then once my dad was okay, because he's another influential person, my parents, they were
Mhm.
okay with my sister, my best friends. I think they just wanted me to be happy. And as long as the situation was the way it needed to be, they saw how happy I was, they saw how good I was with the kids. Once I got their support, I was just kind of like, yeah, we're doing this. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's do
I
it.
just thought about another question when you mentioned your parents. Like, how do they interact with the kids?
Like that's their grandkids. So they come for Christmas. I mean, they got gifts all laid out. Like you would have thought that it was their biological grandkids. So
And y'all
they're
did a
very
photo
much so.
shoot too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Did a photo shoot with
awesome.
everybody. So yeah, they're good with them. Very good with them. So that just kind of gives me reassurance that, you know, what we've got going on. And like I said, we don't have primary custody, but we actually will. It's kind of 50-50 with the oldest one because he's going to high school and he's old enough to kind of decide where he wants to go, where he wants to be. And he's expressed to my husband and his mom, like, I want to go live with my dad. So come back after that and we'll see if I still have this.
Yes,
But he's
indeed.
pretty self-sufficient. Just give him a video game and he's good. No.
Yeah, but the girls start to come around this age.
Right. And that's why I'm like, there's so many things that you don't know. So I'm like, we're all kind of learning as we go. And I'm like, how am I going to, I've already had to talk about girls with him. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of like making sure like, hey, you're going to school to get an education. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't be
so
focused
keep
on
it
these
plain and
girls.
simple.
Yeah.
This is what you're in school for. Okay. I'm not ready for that. Life. Not yet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's different explaining all the different things. Women
And it's
cycles.
different from when we were younger because they have so much access to
They
things.
do.
Like they already
Cell
seen
phone.
half.
Scary.
They seen all the things already.
It's
So
very
it's just like
scary. We
I
weren't
know that.
exposed to all the things they're
Right.
exposed to. So it's like him asking about like, you know, different questions about suicide, like just things I'm like, where are you getting this from? And it's like, it's all over, you know, like
Social
it's,
media.
you know, favorite rappers are killing themselves or, you know, it's just different things. So he's asking you about these things. And sometimes I don't even know how to answer.
Right.
So.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, we trying.
Yeah, Shamika.
Yeah. Trying. We all out here
I'll
trying.
have to call you for that conversation on
Yeah.
girls. 'Cause I have no
Yeah.
idea what to do with that. Now we got a long ways to go, but
Yeah, you got a little minute.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Well,
you
this
so
was
much,
great.
Shamika.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And hopefully someone out there will give a man a try. You got kids.
Yes, ladies,
Give a man a try.
give those men a try.
Be smart about it though.
testimony.
Right. First of all, we need that prayer list. Okay?
Yeah, listen,
Right.
I just wrote down everything I wanted. And not only that, I want people that do have kids to realize they can find somebody really great for their kids too. So I know a lot of people that, you know, have been going through divorces or have kids and, you know, are wondering if how that's gonna mesh. So hope that you'll find somebody that's gonna love those kids like their own.
I love that. I love that. And I know that to be true because my mom remarried like 2 or 3 times. I can't remember how many times. So, you know, there are people out there. Okay.
Lady V.
There are. Somebody gonna be there.
Somebody. And she got 6 kids. It's 6 of us. Okay.
Oh, come on, mama. All right.
Look, you will find somebody. Anyways, well,
You're
this
right
is
about
great. This was
Yes,
so
it
great.
was.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Shamika.
You're welcome.
And we
Thank
enjoy this.
you.
We can't wait to have you back.
Yes.
And
talk
all
to
of
me
that
once
jazz.
we've got primary custody. Then we'll
Yeah.
see how that
Got
goes.
you.
Yeah, we got to do a part 2. We got to do a part
Yes.
2 for sure.
Like, how's
Part
that
two,
bonus
part
mama
two.
life treating
All
you
right.
today? That's the headline.
Listen, now that you got them 24/7,
Right.
okay?
That's
Like,
right.
let's see how you feel now. All roses or what? Yeah, we'll see.
That's funny. All right. Well, until next time.
Thank you. Yes.
All so much for joining us at the Real Mama Pod.
Yes, every Thursday night. Y'all could be anywhere.
But you're hanging out with us.
Yes, and we love it. So, friend, where can they find you?
They can find me anywhere they like. I'm on Instagram at KendraFerg _ and I'm also on Facebook, Kendra Ferguson.
Okay.
What about you?
And you can reach me at DevGrace _ Instagram, TikTok,
Pinterest,
Twitter,
Mhm.
all of that at the Real Mama
Pod.
Yeah, so make sure you follow us. If you want to learn more about Kendra and I, you can check out our website where we have Mama merch. Hey, you can see our little
All
sweatshirts.
right. We are wearing our Mama merch.
Yeah, we have sweatshirts, hats, necklaces. We also have Rich Auntie merch. So you can purchase that at
Dot.
www.therealmamapod.com.
Dot.
We're so corny.
I know.